We don't have to fear death. We know that Christ is resurrection for us. Let's have a great time with it. Here we go. Resurrection day, nothing's gonna hold me in my grave.
We see that God is at work in people's lives, and that's encouraging to see.
There's just something unique about a mother-daughter relationship.
If God's calling you to plant a church, I think this mother-daughter church paradigm is the best way to go about it.
That's how it happened for Orchard Hills Church in Orfield, Pennsylvania, a church planted by Cedar Crest Bible Fellowship Church.
There's a whole world out there of people that need to hear the gospel and need a church in their community where they can see the love of Christ lived out.
We started with a team of 31 adults that left from Cedar Crest at the same time.
Ben Treisman and that team saw the Lord use them to establish Orchard Hills. In fact, they saw remarkable things.
We've seen God working in lives. We see him doing a lot. We hear stories all the time, people coming up to us telling us how much they've learned, how much they're growing in their faith, how much closer they feel to God as a result of being part of the church plant.
All the result of one church's vision.
So part of our Vision 2020 was to be not only involved in helping other church plants, but to actually plant a daughter church from Cedar Crest.
Churches planting other churches, mothers and daughters. Whitehall Bible Fellowship Church had the same idea. In fact, its desire to reach the Walnutport area entailed a sacrifice, a delay in Whitehall's own building expansion. Worth it? Absolutely.
Because now a whole new community is being reached with the gospel that would not have been had we not delayed our own self-benefit. One of the ways that we tried to shape this new work was our elders were one elder board. We had one budget and one membership role.
So we were able to use the input of the other elders at our home church, and we also would have shared elder meetings together.
A group was sent out from Whitehall. A remnant of folks came from the old dormant Walnutport Church, and the new daughter church, Northern Lehigh Bible Fellowship Church, was on its way. And the community noticed.
I found a place online. I'd check it out. I was greeted at the door by 3 or 4 people, and everybody seemed so friendly. And this is where I want to be, and this is where I can serve the Lord, and this is what I'm happy doing.
The most important thing to me is Pastor Aaron, how he treats the word, how he treats people, how he wants to have us all be disciples.
Many miles to the south, God is changing lives in Townsend, Delaware. In one case, a member of the core group sent from the Bible Fellowship Church of Newark had been investing in the life of a non-Christian named Paul.
Praying for Paul, inviting Paul, and finally when the Mission Church opened our doors in Townsend, Paul came to church and soon thereafter professed faith in Christ and began to walk with his Lord.
The new work started with much prayer and planning in Newark, at a time when the economy was down and the church budget was stretched.
And so the challenge for us was to come to the place where we felt talk is cheap. It's time to take action.
Action that is now bearing fruit.
Without a doubt, the greatest days in the life of the church have been the baptisms, when people profess faith in Christ, perhaps for the first time, perhaps reaffirming their love for Jesus and their commitment to be a disciple.
There are challenges for the sending churches, to be sure.
It's left some holes in some of our leadership and some of the ways people are serving here at Cedar Crest. But the good thing about that is we've seen other people step up.
And what we really saw was that more of our people sitting on the sidelines jumped into ministry at the mother church.
And what blessings for the daughter churches.
You can plant no matter where you are and what position that you're in. And our mother church and us, we proved that fact through this church plant.
The people in our church family were really excited about reaching the community, inviting people out, and there's a lot of excitement, and God used that.
We've been benefited, the gospel's been benefited, and this new town has been benefited.
I've prayed a couple of prayers here over the years. I've prayed, Lord, would you grow yourself bigger and bigger in our hearts and minds? And another prayer I've prayed is, God, would you be pleased to do a work in our midst that's unmistakably a work of yours? And so when we launched out, when we did, it was challenging. And again, there was apprehension, but God blessed immensely. Our blessing is even now when we see things happening at the mission, people coming to know Christ, disciples being made, we share in their joy, very much so.
Churches planting other churches. Could that be what God has next for you?